How's it going, everyone? It's Johnny Bede here with another episode of the Streamer Stories podcast. I've not got one guest today, I've got two. I've got Nathan and Gina, otherwise known as NGPlus. Here they are.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Very well, thank
I'm
you. How are
doing
you
good.
doing?
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing well, thanks for asking. Yeah,
Good.
it's been we I don't mind saying it. We tried this last week, it didn't work, so we're here again. So
Do you do blooper reels? Because
I
you've got a
should
good
do.
one. You've got a good one. Have you still got that recording from last week?
I've got a little bit of it, yeah.
That's all you need.
Oh goodness me! But we're here now, and again, thanks for being patient with me. So, but yeah, NGPlus. Let's talk obviously about. So you guys are Twitch streamers, and you have a fantastic YouTube channel. But do you want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Nathan, so I'm the N in NG Plus. And you want to go with your name before I...
Yeah, I'm Gina with the G, I guess.
She's the G. Yeah, we do challenge runs mainly on YouTube. That's what we're most known for, and then we do the challenge runs on our Twitch, so they're both related to each other. But we do some casual games now and then as well. But yeah, that's where our bread and butter is challenge runs, and then we edit them down into YouTube videos. Only the most challenging will do.
Indeed.
Yeah, you've actually had challenges that were too easy, so you were like, no, I don't want to do this.
And we would have streamed it for 4 separate streams on and I'm like, you know what, cancel something else. This is too easy.
That's interesting because I never knew that. So yeah, that's good. Yeah. So yeah, if it is too easy like that cut and flop.
Yeah. If it's like this is just routine now, I have a method that gets me through every obstacle. This is too easy.
No, that's
Gotta
really
have
cool.
a bit of variety, you know.
Well, I've found your channel on YouTube. It's brilliant. I love your channel, and obviously we will talk about that probably in more depth later on. I haven't unfortunately had the pleasure to see you guys stream yet. I'm working on that, so I will. I think we stream on similar days. I think actually.
Yeah,
so,
I think we do.
So I will. I definitely am going to try my best to check you guys out. Everyone else should check them out.
Do we both stream Fridays and Saturdays?
Yeah. Oh, Fridays. Yeah.
That's our challenge run day.
Oh no! Oh, that's even worse. Oh, damn it! But okay, but this will be interesting as well because I've never actually done this podcast with two guests in terms of doing two different stories and two ways of growing up and stuff like that. So this will be interesting. So we'll just take it one step at a time, I suppose. So yeah, individually then, what are your first memories then of playing games as a kid? And any stories? What are the first memories? Never mind playing them. What were the vivid memories of the first thing you ever saw?
Who goes first?
I think mine was... Oh, God. I remember having Mario All-Stars on the SNES. And me and my sister used to play Tekken.
Oh.
Which I think was it on the Mega Drive?
Tekken, no.
No, Mortal Kombat we had on the Mega Drive,
There
which
you
we
go.
should not have been playing at that age. Tekken must have been on the PlayStation.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think Mario maybe was my first one.
Mario All Stars and
Yeah.
and Mortal Kombat. I mean, that's is it the you can't get much further apart really, can you, than those two growing up? I think
What's that one time where Mario ripped Yoshi's head off? I might be crossing my wires somewhere.
Is it a Dogly YouTube video?
That does sound like that, yeah.
I think I did see something like that actually.
guess- For me, I remember my dad used to own a Sega Master System, and I'd see it at his house, and I never played it because I don't think I was allowed, because I think I was like 1 or 2 years old. But eventually, he got me my own console, which was the Mega Drive or Genesis, wherever you are in the world. And I think Sonic 1 was the first game I ever got for it. So there you go. I think that's the first game I ever remember playing in my life was the first Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, we had Sonic as well on the Mega Drive.
The worst first games to start off with, to be honest, in my opinion. I love Sonic. I do love Sonic.
That's funny because we started off with Sonic and Mario, like the two biggest mascot rivalries in the beginning of the big boom of gaming, pretty much.
The mega powers.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. So who was your so Gina, who was your first, who was your go-to in Mortal Kombat then? Who would you play as?
Oh God, I think it was the one with the long hair, and she used her hair as like a weapon.
Good guys. I don't know who that is.
Shiva? No, Shiva was the one with the arms. Ooh.
Oh, hello.
Guest
that-
experience.
I think it might be
You've done
talking
a
about
podcast with
Sindel.
3 guests before. Because now you got a 3rd guest.
Hello. With the hair, it was like grey hair. I think it was Sindel. If she used to.
Oh
flip the hair
yeah,
around.
yeah. That's the one. That's the one.
I don't know that one. I didn't play Mortal Kombat too much. I just like Scorpion and Reptile.
Ah,
And
Scorpion's
Sub-Zero.
great. I love Sub-Zero's my boy. So yeah.
I like the guy with the blade hat as well, but I forget his name.
Oh, Raiden.
No, the guy with the black hat.
Oh
Not the
god,
electric
Kung
dude.
Lao.
Maybe.
Might be
I like Liu
Lao.
Kang as well, but he's like, I don't know, he's the most basic character in the game, probably.
Yeah. So let's talk about Mega Drive then. So what other games did you play on the Mega Drive then, Nathan? What?
I had a lot before they got stolen.
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I had like all the ones that you get on all the Sega collections nowadays, like Toe Jam and Earl, Biohazard Battle, Streets of Rage, Columns, Golden Axe, and all the licensed ones like Aladdin, etc. I had all those ones. There was one day where I had a Mrs. Pac-Man as well, which is still the best Pac-Man game they ever made. So I came home one day and they were all gone except one game. The console and all the games were stolen except for the first Sonic the Hedgehog. They left that for some reason. I had a shelf of like 20 to 25 games and they were all just gone except that one.
that's so tragic. No.
Well, the joke, now that we can laugh on it, the joke is they must have already had that one. They stole that one last Tuesday.
yeah. Oh man, that sucks.
Thankfully, we had insurance, so I got it all back
That's
eventually.
all right. Should have claimed assurance now. Like over time, it would have been worth so much more money now. Yeah.
And then my sister got a pet rabbit, who she let loose in the house sometimes, who then chewed through the cables of a Mega Drive.
Oh no.
So that's how my second Mega Drive became kaput.
Oh no. Do you own consoles? Do you do all the consoles now?
All of them, yeah, all the modern ones.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sad though. So, but third time lucky then with the Mega Drive, hopefully.
I didn't get a third one because around about that point in time, I think the PlayStation 1 was like.
I got you one of those mini Mega Drives when they came out.
I think I had a PlayStation 1 by the time the Mega Drive wires got chewed through, so I just cut my losses.
Oh god.
And then my mum took all my games to a car boot and sold them without telling me. She was like, "You not got the console, so why are you keeping them?" I was like, "All right, fine. Where's my money?" She's like, "Your money? That's my money. I bought you like not all of those." Oh, fine.
Oh god, yeah. Well, again, retrospectively, inflation. With the prices, maybe.
Yeah, she got like 15 quid for all of them.
Well, what? No.
Today she probably would have got hundreds.
This is hurting. Can I just say, this is hurting?
Oh, it gets worse. I used to have, the official PlayStation magazine.
Yeah.
I had every issue. Guess who sold them what the car boot?
No. Okay.
Yeah.
I think this might be the most tragic episode of Streamer Stories I've ever done. So
I haven't even got to the most tragic part yet.
No more misery, please. Oh no. Okay, so you play. So let's talk about PlayStation with you then, Gina. So you play Tekken. I mean, that's brilliant. So any of her memories on the PS1?
Yeah, me and my sister used to play through Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh, nice.
And we would do the voices of the characters. We were sad kids.
We've all been there.
Yeah, but we would specifically play it together and then assign characters to ourselves to do the voices.
And because she was older, she got to pick.
Yes.
Of course. Yeah. Well, just speaking about Tekken and siblings, I mean, I used to play Tekken with my younger brother, and I used to unplug the control pad for him, so I just play on my own, because he wasn't at my level. He was like, he's like 9 years younger than me, so
Yeah.
massive age gap, so
He wasn't on my level. He was
you know.
2 when I was 11.
Exactly, it's not. I mean, now we'd have a good match, but no, at the time, no, absolutely not. I'd beat his butt. But yeah, so I used to use some plugins, just play it, and you go, yeah, you're enjoying it, aren't you? Yeah. So, oh man. So excellent. So yeah, so fantastic games then again. So and I've got to again ask, who's your Tekken main? Who's your Tekken main?
Link Xiao Yu.
Paul
Oh,
Phoenix.
nice. I love Paul. I'm a Paul guy. Yeah.
Same. He's
Yeah.
like the only character I know all the moves on. Anyone else I couldn't do anything with.
One thing I've noticed recently, I'm associated with a lot more like. I used to just play Tekken with a few friends, but like playing online and playing with some streamer friends in that community and stuff, there's a lot of people who hate Paul because he's OP and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not
Like,
surprised.
what he is.
Yeah.
Well, that's the quote unquote beauty of games nowadays. If someone's overpowered, they can tweak him.
Yeah.
In updates and patches, and they do it all the time because people moan about balance issues. And
Yeah.
it's fair, I guess. You would do it online. You got to have balance.
Yeah. No, I've always loved Paul. Brian's another one of my favourites. I love Brian.
Do like Brian, but I think I prefer Law over Brian. I like Paul and Law.
Nice. Paul and Law and Order.
And Huang. Yes,
Oh,
I can
yeah.
say his name. Huang.
I think, yeah. I think I don't know. I think I've heard Horang as well. I don't know. It's yeah. Don't want to butcher anything.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so so moving from the PlayStation, did you go PlayStation 2? Did you go in different directions? Where did you go from there?
I definitely went PlayStation 2 because who didn't? If you had a PlayStation 1, odds are you had a PlayStation 2.
That's true. That is true.
Sales numbers alone would probably tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely went to the PlayStation 2.
The PlayStation 2 was actually the first console that I owned for myself. So
Okay.
we had family consoles, and my sister had a PS1. But the first console that was just mine was the PS2.
Right. Yeah. So favorite games then on the console?
How long you got?
Is this the console? So when we talk about favorite consoles, is the PS2 like the one?
So I've done a podcast in the past where the theme was pick 3 of your favorite PS2 games, and because there was about 3 or 4 people on the podcast, we ended up that many times 3 PS2 games, and we just basically listed the most famous ones you could think of, I guess. But we tried to keep the genres diversified. I was Final Fantasy X, Rayman Revolution, Dragon Quest 8. What else is there? There's loads. GTA 3, I guess.
Yeah.
Everyone loves that. Vice City as well.
All the GTAs, the best GTAs, arguably, in my opinion. Yeah.
What about yours?
Funnily enough, I didn't really have that many PS2 games. I had Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yep, those 2.
But a lot of the ones that I played were still PS1 games, just on the PS2.
Was
They're
Tekken
like
5?
Final Fantasies and stuff.
Was Tekken 5 on PS2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tekken
Yeah.
5 was my favourite Tekken.
Yeah, that's why I mention it, because that should have been on. And Tekken Tag Tournament.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Tekken Tag Tournament was arguably the first. I think it was like number 1 on the list of like games that came out. Certainly in the UK, it came with bundled, didn't it, with the console? Oh,
I thought Tekken 4 was before Tag. I could be wrong.
no.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm not the biggest fan of Tekken 4. I love Tekken
Oh,
5.
No, I didn't like
Who
Tekken
is?
4.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I just didn't. Yeah, it's definitely a step backwards. Tekken 5, arguably, I think it's still the best Tekken game. I think. Yeah.
And weirdly, because 4 was so lackluster, I didn't get 5
Oh, you were
or
missing
6. I didn't get 5 or 6. I went straight to 7 because that had a bunch of hype around it when it came out.
I don't remember much about 6.
I don't think I played 6.
I like 6. 6 is solid as well. I wasn't the biggest fan of 7 personally.
I didn't
just because
dislike 7.
I like playing it online. It's fun online. Well, actually, I don't know. If you get a good connection, it's great online.
I think I like 7 because the last one I played and remember playing was 4, and it was a massive step up in comparison. I didn't realize 5 was so great, so that's on me.
Yeah, no. I just
Tekken
think
7 made me fall out with Tekken, though.
It did.
there's just no. The story
Very
mode was
vocal
just
about this.
bare bones, wasn't it? So
Well, it was also because there were like original characters that were behind a DLC or paywall thing, like Lei Wulong.
yeah.
Why did you have to pay separately for Lei? He's been in it since the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
It was
It's
just
on
things
sure,
like
isn't
that. Like it just seemed a bit too greedy for me,
Yeah.
I guess.
I guess I always leant towards either two genres. It was either platformers or JRPGs,
Yeah.
or RPG as we're calling them now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Which you can see on the channel, can't we, as well? It's
exactly, yeah, that's pretty much where I've stuck to thinking about it. Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. So yeah, Rayman as well, obviously. So yeah, that's I pretty much only got those games. If I played anything else, it's because I borrowed them. And because Tekken 4 was a disappointment and I didn't get any more Tekken games, I didn't even play fighting games anymore. So I was just like stuck on two genres pretty much.
I don't think I played that much as a kid, to be honest. I didn't really. I played some video games like the ones I've mentioned, but I didn't really get into gaming until I met you, really.
Yeah, I guess the biggest deviation was because I had to have this game was Metal Gear Solid 2. After you played the first one, how can you not get the second one?
yeah. I never played the first one. It's on my list. I know it's sacrilegious. I'm sorry. Don't you can leave the podcast. Don't leave mid podcast, please.
That's still probably one of the best games ever made.
Yeah. I need to play it. I played
For
second.
for the time period of it when it came out, and the story today still holds up insanely.
It's not my sort of game, but I can appreciate that it was a clever game.
Yeah. No, it was because I was a massive Final Fantasy fan growing up, and I kept seeing like the Final Fantasy games getting really good reviews, but like on the like magazines and stuff, like Metal Gear Solid was always number one, and like the lists weekly or monthly, or whatever. And I was like, no, Final Fantasy's the best, no. So I think it was spiteful almost that I didn't play Metal Gear Solid, which is bad.
For me, it was, at the time, I don't think I'd ever played a game that was fully voice acted. If I really think about it, what story-driven games on the PlayStation 1 were fully voice acted?
Oh, not
There's a few, I'm
many.
sure, but like Metal Gear Solid's got to be the biggest of them all.
I think in terms of like dialogue lines and stuff like that, there's got to be.
And it was the voice acting was all really good as well, and you had your actual character arcs. It was as if you were watching a 5-hour movie, if you just take all the cutscenes, because that's just how good it was. And in the 90s, in 1998, you look at those graphics, and that's the best thing you've ever seen.
Yeah,
it's like if you saw a PS5 game today, you wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? Yeah. So is there a story maybe that you both want to talk about growing up maybe with friends or with family? Is there like a story that comes to mind of like, oh, that was a brilliant moment or brilliant thing that happened?
God, I already wasted my getting robbed story. I don't think I've got another one in mind.
No.
I remember my stepbrother at the time having Resident Evil Code Veronica on the Dreamcast.
Yes.
And my sister was playing it, but so they were playing it sort of simultaneously. So my stepbrother would play it, and he was a little bit ahead of my sister. And I would watch them both play. So I would. And my sister had the biggest crush on Steve.
Okay.
From Code Veronica, the character.
Yeah.
And I was watching my stepbrother play it, and it got to the point where Steve turned, and then you had to kill him.
Yep.
And I told my sister this, and she would not believe me. She thought I was lying. She was like, "No, you're trying to upset me. You're just being a cow." And then I was like, "Okay, I will watch you play it." And I just watched her get slowly heartbroken.
Did you have on your lap at the same time? Yes.
Where's that cat gone?
Keep advancing through the game. Yes.
Oh man, I remember spoiling my girlfriend, who would become my wife and ex-wife, because we were quite young, and I remember spoiling the end of Final Fantasy X for her in terms of sorry for spoilers, but Oren being an Ascent. I just casually just blurted it out to her, and it was like, oh, that's a massive spoiler. I was like, no, it's not. And then obviously the penny drops. Like, actually, that is a really big spoiler.
Yeah.
And I felt
I did something similar. I accidentally blurted out who the killer was in Heavy Rain to my dad.
Oh no!
before he played it.
That's such a good game.
But you didn't to me.
But no, because I learnt my lesson.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
I
funny.
was playing it and I
that
was
was funny.
this character. He's like the most likable, like relatable character in the game. And there's
Yeah.
Nathan sat there thinking, well,
We have a mutual friend who's also played and completed Heavy Rain.
Okay.
I played and finished it before I met Gina, and then Gina started playing it like after we'd known each other for a few years, and I overheard you tell. Well, you told me directly. I think you said my favorite character is this,
yeah.
and I knew that was the killer.
Yeah.
So I messaged our mutual friend saying, "I can't believe this." She said that this is her favorite character, and she's only this so many hours through the game. So we were just having talks back and forth, me and our friend, about how funny it's going to be when you find out. But you had no idea we were talking.
Oh man!
I was
Oh,
waiting
man.
for the moment.
Also reminds
I
me
should
of
have recorded you. I should have
Yes.
recorded. I should have grabbed my
Yes, yes,
phone and just done that.
But
And
when
he
it
was like,
found out.
what are you doing? I was, no, just look at Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that would have been funny. My eldest, they're 14 now, and they beat Fantasy 7 OG about 4 years ago, I think about 10. And I said,
probably.
yes, on PS4, yeah. And I asked them what was your favourite character, and they said Aerith, and I was like, oh, my sweet summer child, oh no.
How far through were they?
Oh, this was like the
Not
beginning.
far
This
enough.
is quite, yeah, not far enough, yeah. No, but they didn't actually react that badly to any of, for that particular scene, shall I say?
Desensitized.
Yeah, they were. And I was like, oh, I cried my eyes off when I was your age. So, cry.
I can't remember if I knew ahead of time. I think I probably did. Because I played Final Fantasy 8 and 9 first. And then I played 7. And I feel like it was just already like in casual conversations at the time in school. So I think I already knew.
A lot of the main Final Fantasy plot lines got spoiled for me back in school because I had a friend that was really, really into Final Fantasy, and she used to. I was never that bothered about spoilers because I didn't think that it was they were really games that I was going to play. I did a bit,
Fast forward, and here we
but
are.
I never completed them. So she told me all of the like Aerith and.
What's changed, Gina? Which Final Fantasy have you completed?
10.
10, yeah. That's the only one, I
did
think.
complete 10.
Hey.
Yeah, they're too. I don't know what it is about RPGs, but
I'm not
I
mocking
find
it
it
or
difficult.
anything, but you play them and you get like 3/4 or more of the way through them, then stop. I'm like, you're killing me over here.
Oh,
With Final Fantasy VIII, there was a reason.
Okay, yeah.
I got to like the third disc, which was at the time, because I was a teenager, at the time that was the furthest I had ever gotten in any video game. And then I was telling someone at the time how far I'd got, and he didn't believe me.
okay.
So I was like, no, I did. I got this far. Look, I will load my save and show you. And at this point, I think I'd got stuck. So I was like, I'm just going to start again. So I'd started a new save because I'd got stuck on the third disc one. And because I was in this new save, that's why he didn't believe me that I'd got to the third disc, because obviously I wasn't there. And I was like, no, I will load my save and I will show you. And instead of loading, I saved.
And overwrote.
Over
No.
my third disc save.
You guys are breaking
And that-
today.
And that was sort of like, oh, no, I'm done with this now.
Oh no, I had a similar story actually with Fantasy 10 too. I got to chapter 5. It's only 5 chapters in 10 2. And I got to the 5th chapter, started the 5th chapter, and I was going to a friend's house, and I was saving. I was in a rush, and I pulled a memory card out because I was taking it to their house just as the game was like 98% of the save bar was gone.
Oh no.
Lost so many hours of Fantasy 10 2.
I mean, I hate to fast forward, but have you played Borderlands?
I have, yeah. I have to do like
So,
Borderlands. Yeah.
The original game, before any expansions, DLC, anything like that, level cap was 50, wasn't it?
Right, yeah.
Mhm.
And you know how the experience bar on the bottom of the screen is sort of divided into little smaller rectangles?
Oh god, yeah,
I don't know if you've noticed.
yeah.
I got to level 49, and I was on the last rectangle on my way to level 50. Corrupted.
No.
And I don't even know why. I didn't do anything, it just did it.
Oh, so you can't even like blame yourself. It's not even your fault. It's just no.
Yeah. And the developers, like, they knew that it could happen because they put the word corrupted on the screen in game on the save file. They were like, just put some text there in case something breaks. Oh, thanks.
And then it did.
And then it did.
Oh man, I never beat Borderlands. I've played it twice actually, but I never fully. I need to finish it.
We've beaten them all, haven't we, so far?
I think so. Did we finish one?
I have in the past. Whether you have, I don't know. I've beaten
I
them all.
don't think we would have
Three-quarters of the
started
way,
it without
Gina.
finishing it.
That's true.
Borderlands 2 was the best one.
Now and then
Yeah.
I'll say to you, Borderlands 1's on offer, do you want to grab it? And then we sort of are like, well, we've got other things to play.
At one
I think we were
point,
playing Divinity at the time, and then we didn't.
Yeah. It's
my
true.
wife and I played it for a little bit last year. She's not played any of the Borderlands games, so I was trying to use it as our like couple time game, but it only works for so long. She doesn't play as many games as she used to.
We could do a whole podcast on local co-op games.
Oh, we love them.
Yeah, Borderlands is like
love
up
them.
there.
Divinity Original Sin.
It Takes Two. Oh,
Ah,
we've
it's
played
good.
all some obscure ones as
Unravel.
well. Unravel 2, not the first one.
Unravel 2. And what was that one where like
Degrees of
that's
Separation.
the one you're sticking out.
I'm in your mind. 11 years. 12, 11,
12.
12. Not in your mind that much then.
No, it's good. It's good, and that's why I loved about. As I said, I think I mentioned it last week about. I didn't realize obviously this was what should we say? It's a partnership. It's a two-person thing. I didn't realize obviously because a lot of the YouTube content is narrated by yourself, isn't it?
That's true.
Nathan.
Yeah.
So it's really
Gina
really
does
cute. It's
the-
lovely to see.
Gina's the art on the thumbnails and the text and what have you. And now and then she'll convince me to not give up on a stupid idea that I've had that ends up working out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, his biggest video so far is can you beat the Dark Souls bosses in alphabetical order? And he had this idea and he started researching into it, and he got to a point where he was like, oh, it's mostly possible, but I don't know. And then he sort of dropped the idea.
Because it would have drove me insane.
Yeah, and I was like, you've got to do this. That's such a good idea. Nobody's done it before. It's out of the box. It's not just like can you beat Dark Souls with this one weapon, or can you beat Dark Souls without any armor? It's not like that. This is so out of the box. Nobody's ever done this before. You have to do it. And I had to convince him to do it. And then he did, and it blew up. And it was that video that made the channel as big as it is, really.
Sitting on 900,000 views. So,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Zach, and you weren't
Amazing.
going to do it.
Well,
You weren't going to do Metal Gear Solid
to be
either.
fair, Gina, I told you it was going to drive me insane, and it
It
did.
did.
It did.
But it was worth it.
I hated my life for months on end.
We did Dark Souls 2 after.
I did.
Beat
That
all the
drove you
time.
insane as well.
Yeah, but you had to join me on that insane journey on
Yeah,
that
we
one.
had
I
to do that
forced you.
before.
I was like, you're going to play this one co-op with me.
Where's the NGPlus meme about this? I would beat all the Dark Souls bosses in alphabetical order. What did it cost me? Everything. Where's the meme? We need to make it.
The reason it's not been made yet is because I've got to do Dark Souls 3 now.
Oh.
May as well finish the trilogy and then do it.
True.
Oh, that's going to be hell.
Oh. So yeah, as we're talking about Borderlands and Dark Souls, and obviously some, still we say, more modern games. What are some of your favourite titles in the last, 10, 15 years that come to mind? What are some of your favourites?
Well, I guess Dark Souls isn't quite 10 years, but it's within 15. But all the Souls games, the Bloodborne and Elden Ring, they're all up there for me. Speaking of the co-op again, PSA, because this is a public service announcement now, play Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2.
Play it. Especially if you like D&D. If you're a D&D player.
Yeah, and if
Play
you can,
Divinity.
if you play it on console, and I believe it's out on Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox, you can play local co-op. The second one's out on those consoles. I think the first one only came out on PlayStation. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Same people that are making Baldur's Gate 3,
Yes,
right?
Larian Studios. Baldur's Gate 3 is coming out in September on PlayStation, but August on PC.
Very excited.
Ah.
Anyway, so yeah, your Dark Souls ones. What else
Yep.
are your favourites?
Oh god, I'm playing Final Fantasy 16. That's pretty good.
The Tales of series, don't you?
Yeah, some of them are better than others, but I like them. Tales of Arise was really good. And I don't understand why it's like so cheap to buy already. I'm like,
Oh.
makes no sense. It came out like a little over a year ago, I think, but it's the latest Tales of game, and it's great. Play Tales of Arise, people, if you like your JRPGs.
Yeah, what about you, Gina? What were some of your favourite games in the last I don't know, 10, 15 years.
I mean, my favourite games are Skyrim, Persona 3 and Persona 5,
Yeah.
and Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they'd be my favourites.
Yeah, I'm playing through Persona 3 at the moment.
Oh, I love Persona 3. I'm so glad it's getting a remake.
Yeah. No, it's I think I've said this on this podcast like 2 or 3 times, so apologies for repeating myself, guys. But yeah, so it's like, I'm really enjoying Persona 3 on this Xbox Series S that I've got. Oh, they've announced a remake. Oh, why? They've just released this on the Xbox.
Have you finished it before?
No. It's my
You've
first
not seen
time
the
playing it.
ending?
No.
Keep that one.
Yes.
I would like an update when you finish it
Sure.
and your
Yeah.
thoughts on the ending.
No worries. We'll do.
I assume you have Game Pass.
No, I don't. No.
Oh, so you bought Persona?
I did. Yeah. I got Persona 3 and 4 pack together. Yeah.
If you had the Game Pass, I think it was included.
Yeah. I've played through 3, 4, and 5 to some degrees, but I've not finished any Persona game yet. It's I need to finish them all. But they're all so good. I just haven't finished them.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about tragedies. My PS5, my PS4, my kids knocked my PS4 over whilst I had a 100+ hour save on Persona 5, and I corrupted my. I had to factory reset my PS4, so I lost over 100 hours of Persona 5. So
I guess if I had more tragic stories, let's go.
yeah, I'm sure.
Before we lived in this house, I lived in a flat. I didn't have the internet.
Okay, yeah.
So I play, and this back in, there was no PS4. This was PS3 days.
Yeah.
I had several games on the PS3, and a couple that I remember more vividly would be Tales of Graces and Final Fantasy 13 and 13 too, actually. And I got all, I think, of the trophies for 13 too, and nearly all for 13, and a lot for Graces. But our PS3 got the orange light of death or whatever it is, and it broke.
Yeah.
And because I could never connect it to the internet, when I finally got the internet, I couldn't upload those trophies.
No.
And then when I signed to my account on a different console, eventually, because I got a slim PS3 after that, all the data for those games were gone.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. All those trophies were gone. All my play history was gone.
Oh God.
So when I put the discs back in again, start again from the beginning.
Should we all shed a tear? Let's all shed a tear. That sounds horrible. I'm so sorry.
And got corrupted. I tried to transfer it. It was all corrupted.
Oh, man.
So annoying.
Goodness. Well, since you're talking about achievements and trophies.
No, we need a happier topic.
Our first PS4.
Oh God.
We plugged a capture card into it, but because it was a fairly cheap capture card, and I had the HDCP settings wrong, I bricked it.
Yeah, it's not. The thing is, it would still power on, but it wouldn't connect to any screens, so you couldn't see what you were doing.
So what I did is I used my PlayStation Vita to remote into the PlayStation 4 so I could see the screen on the Vita, so I could do a factory reset. But when I factory reset it, it bricked.
Yeah,
And then you couldn't get any screen,
and all
nothing.
that because we kept the setting of HDCP on when we were trying to run it through this capture card.
Thankfully, Elgato doesn't have those problems. They're the leader in the industry for a reason.
That's true.
Yeah.
But any more tragic stories?
No.
There's so many. But we mentioned achievements and trophies. That's a nice segue, actually, to talk about that as a general thing. Do you use trophy hunts? Do you like to get the achievements and stuff like that?
Maybe back in the day, I'd love to see if I can get them all. I went out of my way to get a good few of them because I hate missable trophies / achievements. Like, if it's something like defeat this many monsters in the game, it's like, well, that's fine. You can't miss that.
Yeah,
but then
you can do that whenever.
I remember Tales of Vesperia on the Xbox 360 and now modern consoles. But every single boss fight had a trophy tied to it, but not to win the boss fight, to perform a secret hidden objective within the boss fight.
Oh, okay.
You don't know what it is. And if you don't do it, you don't get the trophy. And if you overwrite your save and continue on, then you've just missed that forever. And I had the bright idea of making a manual save before the boss fights, and then coming back to it, loading my save and coming back to it to get the trophy when I eventually figured out how to do it.
Mhm. Yeah.
But then, in doing that, my master save file, didn't have the history of me completing them all. So I had the trophies, but I didn't get the trophy at the end for doing all of them.
Oh god.
Because my save file didn't register that I had, because it was across multiple files.
That's the thing.
Trophies, yeah.
For me, it depends on the game. So there's certain games that I will do it with, and some that I just won't bother. Like, I want to get the platinum trophy for Stardew Valley.
That's going to take you forever.
Yeah, and probably several playthroughs as well.
God damn.
What did I get the platinum for?
Horizon, done that yet? No?
No, Immortals Phoenix Rising I got the platinum for.
Did.
Horizon Forbidden West I was working towards anyway. I didn't in Zero Dawn because I tried to go back to Zero Dawn after playing Forbidden West, and the gameplay just is not as good. I thought the gameplay was brilliant when I first played Horizon Zero Dawn, and then Forbidden West came out and they just improved so many things. So trying to go back to the first game now is just... The story's better in Zero Dawn, for sure. But they definitely improved the gameplay in Forbidden West. So trying to go back to the first one was a bit odd.
I feel that way a little bit about Divinity, Original Sin 1.
Borderlands as well.
And Borderlands.
Once you play Borderlands 2, going back to Borderlands 1 is just...
Yeah, it's true.
It's not the same.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, trophies, there are specific games that I will trophy hunt in, but I'm not too bothered about them for most games. It's only the specific ones for me.
What I hate is that when there are games that I genuinely enjoy, so I want to get all the trophies, and it seems achievable, so I do, but then there's just that one at the end.
Yeah.
Not only is it hard to get, but it's really boring and tedious.
Yeah.
Just because it would take ages to grind or whatever. Final Fantasy 13 comes to mind. I got all the trophies in that except one, and it was like defeat the super mega boss at the end, which is just an absolute sponge, and it was just like, this is boring.
Yeah.
I'm grinding for literal days just to fight one boss, and I'm not even getting halfway. Screw this.
Yeah. I find the PlayStation 4 trophies for Fantasy 7 and 8 are really easy, but 9's really hard. They're really up the ante.
The skipping rope mini game for 9. Get one of.
Yeah. Still, we got to do to get the 1,000 skips, isn't it? Which I cannot do.
What's your record?
About 300. Is my record.
Oh, you're more than me. I got 222. Bang on.
Yeah. Well, I say that. I don't know if I got 300 on a PS4 version, but like on the PS1 when it came out back in the day, obviously when I was younger, I definitely got to 300. We used to get like a particular card, which I know the Guardian was not as good as 8s, but I still wanted to get all the cards, so that was the best way to get that card. So I remember getting that.
Is there a trophy for getting all the cards?
No. No.
Oh, yeah.
No, there's not. No, there was...
if they wanted to be cruel.
Yeah, there was that one. There's a weird one about like all the ATEs, and because there's like in disc 3 of 29, there's like when you go to Trino, there's like a few different ways to do it, so you kind of have to play through it twice. I never did get that one, and then I didn't know about that, like you mentioned again about not knowing stuff. Like I moved on and saved.
There's a hidden ATE that I didn't get in FF9 until my most recent playthrough for the channel. And keep in mind, this is like my 15th playthrough ever. And I can't believe I'd never seen this one ATE.
What was that?
Well, there's two hidden ones, really, but there's one that I knew about that I knew was hard to get, and one that I just never seen before. And I'm trying... You know when you're... We're getting specific now. You know when you meet Sinner as Dagger and Steiner, and he's trying to order the bunt cake?
Yeah.
It takes place in that location.
Okay. Oh, is there something about depending on what gate you go through or something?
Yeah, you have to. I don't know if it's the gate, but you have to like go back to. Oh, I know what it is. Oh, okay. You know when you're in.
So you're telling the story.
You know when you're in Treno and then you see Dr. Tot and he tells you about the shortcut through the sewers. Through Gargan Rue.
Yeah.
And then he opens a trapdoor in his house. and then suddenly it puts you in control and says, okay, now go in the hole.
Right.
Leave his house instead. Go back into Trenna the town.
Okay.
You wouldn't think to do it, because if you go
No.
into his house to advance the story, you're just going to carry on.
Right.
Make him open the trapdoor in his house, then go back into Trenna. Then you get an ATE of Sinner still eating bunt cake in that town, and Baku comes and finds him and tells him off.
Oh my god.
I didn't know about it for ages. The other really hidden one that I knew was hidden, but it's really specific to get. You know when Queena steals a pickle from Lindblom, but then can't pay for it,
Yes. Yeah.
and it's 100 gil. And if you go to meet Queena,
Yeah.
Zidane pays for it. He goes,
Yes.
all right, fine, here's 100 gil. If you go there without enough money, less than 100 gil, you can't pay for it.
Uh-huh.
And she's not there. There's no cutscene. Instead, you get an ATE of Baku paying instead.
What?
I
No, didn't
know.
about that one either. Goodness.
These are two really hidden ones, and I think you have to get them both for the all ATE trophy as well.
Oh,
but they're like the two hardest ones to get, because you would just never think to do these things.
Case in
Who's going to
point.
have less than 100 gil on disc 3?
Yeah. Case in point about Final Fantasy 9's trophies, man.
This is the Final Fantasy 9 podcast.
Yes. I could talk about Final Fantasy forever.
Same.
So do you guys have any like video game collectibles? Do you collect stuff? And if so, what are your favourite things?
So I don't anymore, because I'm conscious of money now, I guess. This is obviously...
More so than before.
Yeah, we had them all before we became parents.
Yes.
And a lot of them were gifts anyway, but I wouldn't want someone to get me them now, because I know they just sit there collecting dust.
Yeah, I think most of them we have a Final Fantasy one. So you've got a big squall on his bike, haven't you? On his motorbike? Cloud on his bike.
Oh, nice.
Cloud on his motorbike, yeah.
We do have a squall, though. I have a squall and a Zell and a Renoa.
Nice.
I have a few that aren't Final Fantasy, not many. I have the main hero from Dragon Quest VIII,
Okay.
which is another series I love.
And Bloodborne. You got a little Bloodborne.
I've got the Hunter
figure.
from Bloodborne, which is actually... Isn't that like in reaching distance?
Yeah, it's behind there.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, he's only a small one.
Oh, that's
The other
awesome.
ones I've got are much bigger, like this big.
Yeah.
I also have this one's a bit obscure. Edge Maverick from Star Ocean 4.
Oh, okay.
We don't have that many, though. We don't have like a proper collection. Like
No. No, that's still awesome. I love hearing about them, so that's why I ask. Okay, so here's a question for you both individually then. So if you were both stuck on a remote island, and this will be different because I normally ask this question to one person. So you're both stuck on separate remote islands.
Separate. Oh,
I've got it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It just feels horrible. I'm breaking up. I'm breaking you up. I'm sorry.
I'm not the only one telling sad stories now.
This is the most tragic episode of all time. But you're both stuck on a remote island, and you're stuck on an island forever. You can only have 3 games with you for the rest of your time on the island. What would those games be, and why? You can go on the internet, and you can like download stuff and play online and stuff like that as well. So I suppose you can technically play the same game together.
When I read this question, I asked myself, can I pick games that are not out yet,
Yes.
but are like due to arrive?
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate
Because
3.
in my mind, wouldn't it make sense to pick 3 games you've not played that you know are also quite long? Because at least then you can have the best experience.
Possibly, but then what if it comes out and you end up not liking it?
Exactly.
True, but that's why I could pick any 3 I want, and I would make very specifically take care to pick the ones I know that I could last.
Okay, well, what are they?
Well, Baldur's Gate 3 is a good idea.
Yeah, that would have to be one of mine as well, because we
Okay.
would play online
And we
together.
could play on together because there's
Yeah.
Wi-Fi on these islands.
There we go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
I'm not a monster.
Instead of going on an IM and calling for help, we're going to play Baldur's Gate.
We are, yeah.
Guys, it's tough because you want to pick something also co-op, like Borderlands or... That's a good point. We haven't even finished Wonderlands yet. We could
No.
stick that on the list. That gives us entertainment for a bit.
Well, one of mine would be Stardew Valley, because I can sit and play that for hours.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that.
Literally hours. I could play it all day. I think I'm 170 hours deep
Oh wow, goodness.
into Stardew Valley right now.
If you asked me
That's
this
just on my
question,
main save.
if you'd asked me this question in like 2017, I would have said Overwatch.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you were
Because
quite into that.
we played that a lot all the time for several years when it first came out, and then we just
Yeah,
now
not so
we've
much
kind
now.
of stopped now.
Yeah.
So that's probably not a choice I'd make now, which is a shame because that could have really ate through some years. That one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think technically five. I think that's technically 6 games. So 5 out of 6 games.
Yes, that's all
cool.
questions. That's what it is. I can't think of 3.
I think something that gets updated a lot, like in this sort of not necessarily the same vein as Overwatch, but something like Fall Guys, because you're getting new maps and new seasons and stuff. So something like that gets refreshed every few months would be good.
I'd probably get bored of games like that eventually, though. But if I had people to play with, again, the kind of games I wouldn't get bored of are games like the WWE games when they were good. Just stuff like that, so I can actually like. It's different every time you play it.
Okay, so what are your 3? Have to pick 3.
Sorry.
That's the question.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna blast from the past a little bit. WWE 2K. I don't think it wasn't called that then. 2009, the one that came out in 2009. That was my favorite one.
SmackDown versus Raw, I think, wasn't it back then?
SmackDown versus Raw 2009. Yeah, that was my favorite one at the time, and I think it was the first one I ever took online as well. So that's why I had loads of fun with that. That has to be for ages as well. I didn't get.
That's your answer.
I did it. I said one. Then Baldur's Gate 3. Final Fantasy 16. I've not finished it yet.
There we go. That's fine. Don't worry.
I have to live like this.
Oh,
what were your 3?
Stardew Valley, Baldur's Gate 3, and I think I'd go for Elder Scrolls Online actually.
Yeah,
because that's constantly being updated and
It
stuff.
is.
What's your original answer?
I didn't have a third before.
What are you pound hestering me for?
Because I'm not giving long answers. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to fill out, what is it, an hour?
Nearly been an hour.
Is it?
Yeah.
You had a pause. There we go. Subscribe, by the way.
To both.
Oh,
No, to him. Don't subscribe to it.
Please subscribe to them. They're brilliant. Okay, speaking of that though, let's talk about that then. So what made you think about? Okay, so what came first then? So was it the streaming or was it the YouTube content? And what was the inspiration behind it? Was it always a 2-person thing? Or was it separate things that became a 2-person thing?
No, actually, we were originally on a channel with a group of our friends.
Oh, right, okay.
To start with. And then we ended up leaving that. We're still friends with most of the people from that channel, but they have like their own separate channels now. So it's sort of like the original channel sort of disbanded, and then we sort of went our separate ways. So, but originally it was just videos. We didn't stream for a while.
Okay.
And then we started streaming on that, but we were streaming on YouTube.
This was back in 2017.
Yeah.
That's when we first started making Let's Play videos.
So it was videos first, and then we started streaming on YouTube. And then when we disbanded and we started NGPlus, we started first on Twitch. So it was streaming first. On this channel, it was streaming first. And we did stuff like Super Mario Maker 2.
Yeah,
things like that. It wasn't challenge stuff to start off with.
I convinced myself that if you're looking for a niche, it's best to find a game or a franchise that people like and then try and milk it for as much as it's worth. And I thought, Mario Maker 2, that's the answer. Thankfully now the niche is a genre of videos rather than just an individual franchise or game.
Yeah,
so,
found it.
It was getting a bit boring at just doing Mario Maker 2 all the time.
Yeah, but we were PG when we first started this channel as well. Because the other channel wasn't, so we were like, well, let's try being like PG and see if it helps anything in any way.
Build the audience bigger with
PG.
PG.
For a couple of years, or was it like
Was it
a
that
year
long?
and a half?
Was it that long?
Yeah. Of this channel, I'm sure we were PG for like a year and a half.
I was going to ask
we were like, and then we were like, you know what? Let's
just try not.
Well, it was just we were limiting ourselves with not just with like what we could say and stuff, but we were limiting what games we could play. And stuff like that, and we never really found that many underage people watched us anyway.
I mean, what was funny is that you said to me, "Should we not be PG?" And I was like, "It was your idea," and you were like, "It was your idea," and I was like, "It was your idea."
It was your idea.
I swear it was yours.
Who knows? I think your videos are quite. I want to say the RPG, but I mean, it's a big compliment to you, Nathan. I love your voice is fantastic, and it really narrates well to a broad audience, shall we say?
People keep saying I sound like Richard Ayoade or David Mitchell.
A little bit.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
a little
all
bit
you're
of
doing,
both. Yeah,
all you're doing is picking famous Englishmen.
British nerds.
I mean, hey,
I guess that is
these are pillars of the pillars of the narration community.
The YouTube videos that we have now, I always intended them to be PG because YouTube do be YouTubing. I'm like, there's no point taking the risk. I'm not.
Yeah, it doesn't swear or anything.
I'm not going to swear in the YouTube videos. There's no need for it. It's not called for in those videos. There's no point. In the streams, it's live. Anything goes.
Yeah.
But the YouTube has always been PG, or as PG as I can get it, because some of the games are Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did originally start on actually a different channel with a group of our friends, and then that all sort of disbanded, and then NGPlus was born, I guess.
And born it was.
So so let's talk about the challenge runs then. So what's the process behind? I know we kind of already picked it a bit apart in terms of like in terms of like this Twitch streaming is becoming the main channel of the recording aspect, isn't it? And then you kind of pick it apart really. But like, how do you choose the challenges that you do? And
I'll start by saying that's not how it started. I used to record the challenges in my own time and stream casual games.
Oh, I see. Okay.
The biggest reason for that is because if I got stuck on a challenge to the point where I have to like research it or talk to the people in the know, I can't do that midstream. I didn't want to bore people.
Yeah, but we started streaming the challenges shortly after the Dark Souls video, right?
Possibly.
I think it was the one after that.
The very first one we ever streamed, I think, was Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much somewhere straight in the middle of the channel somewhere. The way I pick my ideas is strange. I think I watched a few challenge videos in the past before we had the idea of doing our own. And I thought to myself, these are really cool. Some of them are better than others, but in general they're cool as an idea. Let me look up online to see if there's any challenge runs on video games I grew up with.
Okay, yeah.
So I looked up things like Spyro, Metal Gear Solid, Ratchet and Clank, and there were none. No one was doing any of those kind of videos. And I was just like, why? Like, that's a niche that's not been filled right there, surely.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, let's think of one. What could I do? Spyro without gliding, whatever, let's just try it. And I did it, and it wasn't the best, but it was the best I could do at the time. It was a bit crude, but it did all right for itself at the time. Better than anything else we're ever doing. And then I think I did a couple more. But unfortunately, because I wasn't as dedicated at the time, some of the challenges I started, if I couldn't finish them, I would make a video and then say, I got stuck here. The end. Now that I wouldn't even dream of doing that now.
No.
Yeah.
If I don't know I can get at least most of the way through a game, I wouldn't even. It was over on the radar.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I don't want to bore people like that. So the way I pick my challenges is weird. I have sort of like unwritten rules. No hard mode.
Okay, yeah.
And what I mean by that is, don't pick a challenge idea that just makes the game hard mode.
Yeah, so like no basic weapon only, no weapon, no like
that's game specific, I feel.
Yeah. But you know the standard ones that are like I'll do it with no armor or
some people will say no damage run.
Yeah, that's
and I'm
what I'm
like,
trying to think of.
No, I don't want to make a video on a no damage run because you already know the answer to the question.
It can be done if you're good enough.
If you're good enough, yeah. That's what it would take.
You want to find things that is actually a question. Like, is this actually possible?
I want to make people think, no, surely you can't. Let me click that and find
out. And then
out.
prove them wrong.
Rayman without hovering. Rayman 3 without hovering is like my favourite example of that because immediately everyone's like, alright, what? You have to do like 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 to try and squeeze by the game. Nope. Did the whole game with 0. And I had to break that game.
You did.
I did all the out of bounds you can think of. I took advantage of all the proxies you could possibly imagine. I squeezed in the middle of pixels and everything. It was ridiculous, but I eventually did it. I even had to break the animation of the hover at one point to allow a technical hover. It was just...
God.
So yeah, they're
stuff
the
like
ones
that.
that you tend to pick. Are the
Yeah.
ones that is actually a question.
It sounds
It's not
impossible.
like, are you good enough to
Yeah.
complete it this way? It's
Yeah.
is it actually possible?
Yes.
And the advantage that has is that I don't necessarily have to be good at the game.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like I don't need to be skilled at the game. I just need to do the research and trial and error the bits I'm stuck on.
Yeah.
Not be good enough to do them, but work. It's like working out a puzzle rather than having to be skilled at something, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. No, that's
So,
fascinating.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think initially the biggest ideas we had, Dark Souls Alphabetical and Metal Gear Solid without taking any steps, they were the ones that I sort of like managed to think of off the top of my head and somehow managed to get lucky in them being popular enough to get good views. And I was like,
Yeah.
and everyone was praising the ideas in the comments, and I was like, that was lucky. I came up with these really unique ideas by happenstance just because I was like looking through the library of games going, what could I do? What could I do?
I remember when you came up with the Dark Souls alphabetical one, because you were like, it was just like sort of a throwaway thing, wasn't it?
I was saying,
You were sort of like, oh, I wonder if you could beat like the Dark Souls bosses in alphabetical order. Probably not. And then I was like, wait a minute.
Here's what it was. I said you need something ambiguous for the title. You know, Game Champ.
Yes. Yes.
She did Super Mario Odyssey without jumping.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
The reason that's such a good idea is because everybody knows what jumping is. Everyone on the planet. You don't have to play a video game to know what jumping is.
You don't have to know anything about the game really to know that that's probably impossible.
And you know that 3D platforming video games, Mario being the biggest of them all, you know that jumping is what you do in that game. He's called Jumpman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the genius idea for that game. And if I do something like Spyro without gliding, most people would know what that is, but if you've not played Spyro, you might not even know he's a dragon. So it doesn't click in your mind straight away, oh, is that hard? I don't know. Is that clickable? Not sure.
Yeah.
When I say something like beat all the bosses in a game that everyone knows anyway, Dark Souls, because it's become mainstream, when I say beat them all in alphabetical order, everybody knows what the alphabet is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't say height order.
But then people
or
who
anything like
know
that.
the game do start thinking, oh, wait a minute, well, this is the order. How's he going to do that?
Well, some people would be like, well, hang on a minute, what
is the order?
How can you choose your order of bosses on
Yeah.
a video game? It's like, surely bosses are in order they're supposed to be in. So
And
you
then-
click it, and then all of a sudden you realise there's stupid glitches.
And then obviously with Metal Gear Solid, it's essentially without walking, without running.
I could have said only crawling. I didn't. I said don't take any steps.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, well, how do you play a video game without moving your character? And then you click it, and then you realise, oh, you can crawl.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you think to yourself, wait a minute, it's going to fight all the bosses in the game only crawling? I'm going to watch this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've got to think of these ambiguous ideas, I guess.
Yeah.
My latest videos are not good examples of that, but thankfully we've gotten the name out there enough where people click them anyway now, thankfully.
Yeah.
So that's fortunate.
You've just released one, haven't you, as well? Actually, do you want to? So I mean, there might be. I mean, this might be coming out in a few weeks. Actually, maybe even a month or so. But yeah, let's talk about that then. So what's the newest video that's come out? And have you got any feature plans, or is that hush hush at the moment?
The one that's just come out was Jack and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy without any eco. Eco being one of the big collectibles in the game that gives Jack powers.
Right. Yeah.
Different colour eco, different powers. They're all required for a lot of the game. And I guess unless you know the game, which thankfully it's a bit of a cult classic. More so than cool. I guess it's a genuine classic. Enough people know. So straight away you're like, oh, yeah, I want to click that and see how you can beat the game without eco. But I usually go the extra mile and I try to 100% complete the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the rules.
Well, it's like with the Spyro, the most recent Spyro one we did. Can you beat Spyro? Was it Hero's Tale?
We're still doing that one.
Spyro
Enter the
Dragonfly without.
So we've done Spyro 1, 2, 3, and 4 without gliding.
Yeah, but 4, there is a way. So there's a way to just glitch straight into the final boss, which a fair few people know about in sort of the gaming community. If you're into challenge runs and stuff,
You must have seen that.
so
It's
some of the
infamous.
comments would be, well, yeah,
play
you
the full
can. Well, why is this video an hour long? when you can just glitch straight into it at the beginning, and then you find out that actually Nathan tries to get 100%.
Literally in the first 2 minutes of the video, we glitched straight into the final boss, which is like an infamous meme in the gaming community. Spyro 4 speedrun 1 minute and 6 seconds.
Oh man,
You can sprint to the final
You
boss
could just go
portal,
straight there.
glitch through it, fight the boss, and win and complete the game. But I did that in the first 2 minutes of the video, and then I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna actually try to beat the game 100%.
Yeah.
But I still got comments saying, why is this an hour long? You can beat the game, you can beat the boss in a minute.
yeah.
And I'm like, did you watch the video for more than 2 minutes?
I was gonna say, yeah. Oh god.
When it comes to future plans, obviously we're doing Spyro 5, I guess.
Yeah,
at the
and
moment.
Spyro 5. The reason that's not a secret is because I've been live streaming it for about 5 or 6 weeks now.
Oh, okay.
And then Prince of Persia, No Wall Running, which
Yes,
is...
Prince of Persia: Sands of Time.
We had a
no
bit of a
wall
breakthrough
running.
with that one the other day, so
little
that's
Oh,
looking
okay.
more likely to
Have
actually
you
happen.
played Prince of Persia?
I
The old
haven't,
3D
but I do
ones?
know how much wall running is fundamental for that game.
Yes.
So
There's more
okay.
glitches than I thought there were in that game, because when I played it, it was perfect.
What other? I don't think there were many other necessarily on the horizon, was there?
There's
Was
one or
that
two
those two?
penciled in, but I haven't gotten around to them. I want to do Metal Gear Solid 3 without taking any steps, but
Well,
I
you'll
need
be
the
able
game.
to soon.
I need the game to re-release, which it is in
Yeah.
autumn. So I've got to wait for that. The really awkward thing about, and this is part of the job of doing challenge runs, you have to look up all this nonsense. Metal Gear Solid 3 has multiple different versions. You don't think it does. You think it's just ported onto different consoles, like Xbox 360, PS2, Xbox 360 and PS3 HD versions, and PC, I guess. Is it on PC? I think it is. You're thinking, oh, they're just ports, but no, there are subtle differences between each version, which means glitches work on some and not others,
Right.
which is really annoying. So you have to sort of try and figure out the best versions of the games you want to play as well. So a lot of that goes into it too. You have to like not just plan what challenge you're going to do, but plan what version of the game you're going to play.
But yeah, so I think they're the main ones that we're working on for the near future, I guess.
Oh, it's
So
exciting.
many glitches on Rayman 3 would not have worked if I was playing the PS2 version.
Yeah.
I got just two more questions for you, if we can squeeze them in. So the first one is, so I have a new feature on this on the podcast now where I ask a previous guest to ask a question for a future guest. They don't know who that guest is going to be. So the question that someone has already asked in advance is, I suppose it's for both of you really, is what would be some advice you'd give to streamers in terms of networking and getting their name out there?
Okay.
He can tell you what not to do.
Yes.
Speaking from experience, because when we were streaming / let's playing for like, what, 5+ years?
4 years.
You maybe 4, but I think I lasted till 5 maybe. Roughly, whatever. The point is we spent years doing it.
Yeah.
And we grew very slowly as a result. And I don't know, it eats away at you obviously, but the things that I did that were wrong was like promoting yourself in other people's social medias and things like that, and assuming people wanted to see what you were making and things like that, when really I didn't have anything to offer of any substance. It was just, I hope you like my personality, give me a chance please. That's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, I think a lot of people make that mistake though.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a
The cat's in the background. Cool.
a bit of a streaming error, but I think a lot of people make that mistake at the beginning. We certainly did.
I'm guilty of it.
I think don't insert yourself in places the way you're not wanted, which is life advice really. But yeah, so I mean, advertising yourself in other people's streams. One of the ones that really annoys me the most is going into someone's stream, staying for a few minutes, and then being like, "Oh, I'm off now to set up my own stream." Like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we're quite lucky because we have a little community that has other streamers in it, and we've sort of made friends with those streamers as well.
And collaborate now and then.
Yes.
Collaborating is really good to get your name out there. Raiding is great as well on Twitch because you're sort of helping someone else out, but you're also sort of getting your name out there as well.
I guess something else I would say, if I remember it. So you got to try and find something that is like something of a niche, I guess. Is the best way to describe it. You can't, like, some people say, "Oh, I'm a variety streamer." That's all well and good if that's what you want to do, but I think that would, if your intention is to growth, then that's probably going to be a detriment.
It's harder, yeah.
It's hard. It becomes harder. You want to try and find something that you can niche yourself within, and that doesn't necessarily mean the same game. It just means do the same type of things, roughly similar things, I guess. Even if it's just my niche is hard games. Well, now you can play Ninja Gaiden, or you can play Dark Souls, or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, or retro games, or whatever. This franchise or this company, if you like. I play only Bethesda games or whatever.
But those sorts of channels do really well. Like,
Yes,
we know
do.
someone who only streams like Nintendo games, and he's done really well.
Or only Pokemon.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Obviously, that's
Finding your niche is good.
if you like a whole big variety of games, it becomes more difficult because you don't want to limit yourself. But like when we started doing challenge runs, we could do any challenge run game, but the same people would keep coming in to say, and if we did a casual game, less people. Oh, it's my first playthrough of this and that. But if we do, okay, we're going to try and beat this game without doing a thing, and it's going to become a video if it's successful.
Yeah.
Then suddenly, people will come in because that's the niche people know us for. You got to try and find that.
I think it's good to find a nice middle ground as well, because it's obviously good to play the games that you enjoy. Like, obviously, do what you enjoy. If the numbers and stuff don't bother you, then 100% just do whatever you enjoy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
If the numbers are important for you, then find those games that are like not too popular that you're going to get drowned in all the other more popular streamers and stuff, but not games that are so obscure that nobody's looking for them.
What
So
helped me?
it's about finding that middle ground, about something you enjoy, but is also gonna get you found.
In addition to all of that, the really simple thing that I did or asked you to do was just to hide the view account.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
On Twitch.
hide your view
Yeah.
account.
I
100%.
just hid it because I was like, it's always the same. It doesn't change. It doesn't.
It's all you focus on. If you can see it right on your screen there, right in front of you, it is all you can focus on.
And it's bad whether it
Watching
goes.
it going up and down, and
If you're watching it, it's bad whether it goes up or down. Because if it goes up, you psych yourself up. But then if it goes down, it's even worse.
yeah,
And then you think, did I do something wrong? Did I say something? Just hide it.
100% hide your view
100%.
account.
Pretend you've got 100 viewers all the time and hide it.
Yes.
Yep.
That's my advice, anyway.
Fantastic advice. In fact, a lot of it goes into the final question I was going to ask, which was, what advice would you give to anyone thinking of streaming? But it's a similar question, I suppose, isn't it? Networking and streaming advice. So they're very similar things, isn't there?
Hide your view account.
Hide your view account,
I think
brilliant.
we sort of answered both of those.
You did. So I will ask another quick question, if I may, to finalise things. Just tell us your favourite stream memory with your community, because again, you talk about your fantastic community on Twitch. So is there like something? Is there a moment that you can think of that was like, wow, that was so good or funny? Or
We've got compilations of videos that I've made of our funniest stream moments over years and years, and picking one would be crazy. There was one time, okay, I'm chucking you under the bus. There was one time you asked me to fetch you a drink.
Oh my god!
Right. So I went to fetch you a drink, and the drink she wanted was a glass of wine. Well, okay, sorry, wine. Glass wasn't specified. I said, "What do you want? What cup do you want?" And she said, "Any." Quote, said any. I came back with a mug.
A mug.
A mug, right?
Yeah.
I said a glass of wine.
When you said any, I was like, okay, cool, grab the first thing I see. I grabbed a mug of wine. And you said, I meant any wine glass. So the entire audience roasted me saying, why would you put wine in a mug?
I mean, come on.
When the instruction I was given was any, right? And then that's one thing, right? I took the L on that one a little bit. The conversation came back up in a different stream. And then the roasting began again, as it would usually. And then you were joining in going, yeah, Nathan, why would you do that? At the exact moment, you had made yourself a mug of wine.
Brilliant.
So I grabbed the cup or the mug and demanded you tell everyone what was in this mug. And I wouldn't give it you back until you did. I held the mic to your face, just shouting. And you were just wetting yourself laughing. And the entire audience turned on her and was on my side immediately. They were like, oh, hang on a minute. Okay, we're on your side. Now, Nathan, that was ridiculous. Why would you do that, Gina? I did it under instruction. You did it voluntarily.
But we've
Oh.
had quite a lot of really funny Jackbox streams as well.
Was Jackbox as well.
Yeah, it was. The Jackbox ones get a bit crazy.
We have a few artists in the audience.
We
Oh,
When it
do.
comes
yeah.
to drawing games, we get some crazy stuff.
When our
TKO.
artist viewers and artist friends join in Jackbox, it gets so funny.
Because they're really good and specific with the
Yeah.
drawings.
Oh god, yeah. Just yeah. I love playing TKO. It's so good.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
What's
Really.
that? Is it Civic Doodle, the one where someone draws a thing, then someone carries on with the drawing, then carries on, then carries
Oh.
on?
No, that's
I
What
can't
game is that? I
remember.
thought it was Civic Doodle.
Gartic Phone.
No, I'm talking Jackbox. There's a game on Jackbox where the game will just draw a line, like a curved line. Then two people draw something along with it. Then you all vote the winner. And then two more people will take that drawing and add something to it. Then then you all vote the winner, and it goes on and on until
I
one complete
know what you
drawing.
mean, but I can't remember. What
I think it's
called.
Civic Doodle. The name makes
Might be.
sense.
It does
Civic
make
Yeah.
sense actually. Yeah. But
And every time we play that, it's just hilarity. So
Yeah.
I've got no example. Sorry, we'll put it on screen. I don't know.
Side now.
This is my show now.
For your own show. Back
Oh,
off.
I
Thank you
didn't
so
get my own
much.
show by letting everyone have their own show. I take it from. I didn't get rich by signing checks.
Oh, it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful. One of the best laughs I've had on the podcast. Thanks so much for you both being here.
It's weird because you said how depressing it was earlier.
Well, it is. Yeah. What did they say about?
over here?
What did it? Yeah, it has been a roller coaster. What did they say about laughter and misery being very close
We'll
together?
make you laugh, we'll make you cry, not a dry eye in the house. Subscribe.
Subscribe, please,
Hint,
everyone.
hint.
Check out
To the
NGPlus.
name of the show that he'll say because I forgot.
Thanks so much for joining us on Streamer's Story.
That's
Okay.
Subscribe to Streamer's Story.
Well, yeah, subscribe to Streamer Stories, but also everyone check out NGPlus. I'm sure you have a lot of you people, a lot of your community here already. But thanks so much, everyone, for joining us both. So make sure you subscribe to everyone. And one more time. So where can we find you? You've got your descriptions on your fantastic banner. But is there anywhere else that you are? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Threads? Are you on anything else?
Yes. Twitter, Instagram, Threads.
I think the biggest one for me personally is Discord. It's the
Discord,
most.
yeah.
It's the most
That's where we
intimate
talk
one.
to everyone.
Yeah.
Discord is the big one that I try to push most of the time.
Yes.
But we're on most of the main social medias. If you search NGPlus or NGPlus channel, you'll find us.
Fantastic.
Or
There we go.
NGPlus Live on Twitch.
On Twitch, yeah.
There we go.
It's social wise, it's NGPlus channel.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks so much, guys. That was wonderful. I
Thanks.
really enjoyed that chat.
Thanks. Me too.
There we go. That's it. All the best, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.